Hi everyone, I'm the plant propagator and welcome to my channel. Today, I'm inside, at least at the start. I don't want to show you how I melt again outside. It is just toasty outside. I've been out most of the day today and it's just warm. So what I'm gonna do is start out inside, explain to you what I'm gonna do today, and then we'll take a look outside, but I'm going to be behind the camera. What I wanted to share with you today is a video and an approach that I don't think you're going to get anywhere else on any other channel. So what we're going to do today is a orchid capsule tour. So I'm going to share with you the results of my orchid flower pollinations. And so we're going to take a look at the capsules, show you the different capsules on the different plants. And the idea is that it'll give you a little bit of a flavor for the types of crosses that I make and what I look for. It's also kind of fun and a little bit different. I'm going to show you the seed-bearing plant. So I'm only going to show you one of the parents from the crosses that I make, and I'm not sure how many we're going to take a look at, but we'll take a look at things. Just so you know, I wanted to show you this. I keep track of all the pollinations that I make on, it's not a spreadsheet, but it's just it's a software package on Apple, on my phone, and on my computer. It's just notes. And so anytime I make a cross, I put it on my phone, which ends up being reflected on my computer and all my other shared devices. So I can kind of see where I am and what I've done at any time. I highlight things. If it's a successful cross, I mark it in a certain way. If it's not a successful cross, I mark it another way. Once I harvest it, I make some changes. Once I name it, or once I get the seedlings large enough to name, then I mark it yet another way. So this is a nice method that I've kind of developed for how I track my crosses and what's going on. And what I wanted to do was kind of review it to see where I am, because the capsules that I'm going to be showing you today, they're all different times after pollination. Usually with most of my capsules, I have to wait 6 months for harvest in order to have the embryos large enough so that they'll germinate. Sometimes I get the capsule splits early, 3 months, 4 months. And in those cases, I get questionable survival of the embryos that are in those seeds in those capsules. So I'm just going to show you kind of a wide range of things. I'm not going to go in chronological order. I'm just going to go in the order that the capsules exist in my growing space. And I may miss some because they're buried, but I'll try to tell little stories behind some of the crosses that I'm making. If you want to hear more detail and more information, you're certainly welcome to become a member of my channel. And there is, if you want to become a member, you can click on the join the member link. There is a cost of $2.99 per month. You can quit at any time if you find that it's not what you're interested in. But I do provide more information, and there's other perks and benefits of being a member. So if this is at all of interest to you and you want to find out more information about me, my channel, and the specific crosses that I'm making, I invite you to join and become a member of my channel. Otherwise, it's still going to be fun. And I still provide most information just to everyone, but it's going to be fun to just take a look at the capsules, because I don't think anyone else that I've seen has done this and shares information even at that level. And again, hopefully it's of interest to you. So without waiting any longer, I'm going to close down things here. And this is where I have records on extensive records on all the orchid crosses that I make, the plants that I have. This is where I edit my videos that come to you, but I just wanted to share this with you today. But now what I'm going to do is get behind the camera and we'll take a look at some of the capsules that I've generated and the plants that they're on, and any other interesting information I'll fill in as we go. All right, so let's get going. And here we are. So we're getting started. It's not that bad out here. It's actually a nice windy day, but I'm sitting on the ground in the shade. And I've just barely got out here, so it's pretty nice. Anyway, this is the first seed capsule that I wanted to share with you today. And I'm going to share a lot more information on this one. This is Mai Kai. So the seed parent here is Mai Kai. This is growing on the base of my date palm here. And for this seed capsule was made by crossing onto this in Cyclia tampensis. So it was kind of surprising and I remade this cross. I made it earlier. I made it maybe 2 years ago. And I made this cross and I got the capsule and I harvested the seed and I got very few seedlings out of it. But I did get enough so that I have plants from this that are growing outside here. And I actually named this hybrid. So if I get a large number of seed out of there, this is going to be Guarvoclia Holy Moly. And I call her Holy Moly because I was surprised to get really anything out of it. I didn't know I would. And it's kind of an interesting cross. But there it is. And this is a little bit of a detour, and it's an interesting story. Okay, and this plant's growing well, so it's got a lot of new pseudobulbs coming out of it. It's doing well at the base of this tree, and I hope it just keeps on going. Okay, I'm gonna reposition myself where my main orchids are, and that'll probably be the last time that I have to turn off and back on again. Okay, and we are back. So this is one of the few plants that I actually have 2 seed capsules forming on. So I got one right there and one right there. And I've got 2 forming on this because this is a large plant in this very large pot right here. And this thing is doing really well. So I thought, well, okay, this is going to be able to support a couple of different capsules. Plus, this is one of my favorite hybrids. So this is Odom's Grand Delight right here. This is a beautiful, large, flowered Cattleya. And I've used this in a lot of my crosses. And I really like this plant, what it looks like, the vigor, the color, the fragrance, everything about this plant is wonderful. So I do use it in a lot of my crosses. And I use it when I cross different types of orchids, big ones with small ones or spots or something like that. So 2 capsules forming, and there's more flowers forming on this plant, but we're just, and the capsules do, when you get 2 capsules on a plant, they do tend to slow the plant down a little bit. But anyway, Odom's Grand Delight has a couple of capsules on this. Moving over to the next plant, I got to get around these trees here and to the next plant, and this is a capsule, and some of these are going to be hard to get to, but the capsule right there, this is getting pretty old, but it's a nice size capsule it's actually a pretty big capsule considering how large the plant here is. And this is Cattleya facilis, and this is a primary hybrid, spotted. It has a few flowers per spike. So this is the first bloom that I've gotten off of this plant, and the first hybrid that I'm generating from this plant. So we'll just have to see how this goes. In the meantime, what's happening is, I think so the capsule's right there, but in the sheath that you can see maybe that's in the center of the screen, I think there's another flower spike coming out of that, and then another one right over, it's hard to see, right over there. So this appears to be a really nicely prolific plant. Okay, I don't think I have any capsules forming on any of the other plants over here, but let me move over to here, and we have a relatively small capsule right here, that's forming on this is Waianae leopard Tsinghua. So this is a pretty small capsule that's forming right now, and we'll see what happens with this one. Sometimes the capsules reach close to full maturity and split, and there's nothing in them. Sometimes they abort pretty early on. Many times when the fertilization doesn't work, the flower falls off pretty much immediately within a few days. So I think we're going to get something out of that, and that's going to be my first hybrid on Waianae leopard Tsinghua. Moving over here, this still has flowers on it right here, and the flowers they're kind of they're not looking great anymore. This has really a spectacular flower. But the last time that this flowered, which was just a short time ago, I made a cross onto it. And this is, again, another very small capsule that's starting to form. This has a long, long way to go. So I'm happy about this just because, and this is Toshi-Aoki. And this is the first hybrid that I've made with Toshi-Aoki. This is commonly used in hybridizations. So we'll see what happens with this one. But it's my first one. It's the plant maybe not as big. The flower's really nice, or it was, a couple of weeks ago. But a lot of people, this is a real favorite for making crosses. Okay, moving on a little bit. Let's move over here. I got to go around these trees, and there's one, and some of these things it's kind of hard to find, but then right back in here there's another capsule right there, and this is forming on Momolani Rainbow, and you can see the tag blowing in the wind here right below that. So this one is ready. So I had 2 capsules on this specific plant. And again, when you have bigger plants like this one right here, and look at the extensive roots on the side of the pot that are coming out of this. So this is a really nice vigorous plant. But when you have capsules forming on you can have 2 capsules forming on such a large plant. But the other capsule, I pollinated it at the same time, and I've already harvested it, and I got viable seed from it. This one, it looks like it's getting close to ready. You can see it's got a little bit of light coloration next to that rib there, next to those ribs. And so I could probably harvest this, but I'm going to let it go another week, I think, before I do this. This is really coming up close to 6 months old. So this, and I think Momolani Rainbow has given me a lot of successful hybrids. And actually behind it here, you can see, this is really hard to get back in here. So this is one of my hybrids. Yikes! And I don't know if you can read the tag there, but the tag says Momolani Rainbow times Orange Nugget. And so that's another, I don't know if you can see it even in the pot, but yeah, that's the leaf coming out at you right there. So that is one of my hybrids with Momolani Rainbow. I didn't put it there intentionally, but it just so happens that this is the parent for that plant that is hidden there behind it. Okay, moving on. The next, I do have a lot of capsules. So this is Fire Dance Patricia. And this is my first hybrid with Fire Dance Patricia. This thing, with all of my capsules, I keep an eye on them. I look for a little bit of yellowing. This one looks pretty good. This probably is a few months old, so it's got a few more months to go on it. And we'll see how it goes. First one, the flower isn't big, it isn't great, but I just kind of gave it a try. I'm very careful when I make hybrids because it is, at least it's a minimum of a 3-year-long wait. Usually, 5 years, but, until you get a flower. So you don't want to make a cross unless you're really excited about it. So, but anyway, I'm starting to generate enough plants, and I have enough flower that I think some of the hybrids that I'm making are pretty interesting. Okay, moving on. And we'll take a look at this this plant right here. And as far as seed capsules go, again, this is the, and I shared this with you before, this is the, you know, the mother of all seed capsules here. So this is a Encyclia tampensis, and this is loaded. And these are all from insect-made crosses. I had a video, I think, just on the tampensis capsules, because there were so many of them. And I got no tags on them because there's so many of them and the insects did them. And I didn't know what they are. But here, let's move up a little bit. And there's tags on, that's another Encyclia tampensis. And this is the alba. This is my very new alba. And these are the results of a self-pollination. Actually, I took pollen from this flower, put it on this, and this flower onto this, vice versa. And the seed capsules, you can see, are the thickened areas that are just starting to form, but it's only been a couple of weeks. So and the thing is, with the alba form, with the white flower, I'll hopefully see it in all of the progeny. That's how the genetic works. It's a recessive trait, but if you inbreed, if you self it, you should see that. Sometimes when you self, you have a number of other problems. Some of the other recessive genes can come out, and many of those can make the progeny plants weaker. So we'll see how it goes. This is my first time. Again, I got the alba, Encyclia tampensis alba, such a short time ago, and we'll see if any of those crosses work. Okay, moving on. And we have another fairly large plant right here, and then we have one capsule there and one capsule there. And so these are, I got to look at these, you know, as far as what some of these things are. But this is Star of Siam. So this is a large floofy cattleya, and it's the first time that I've used this in crosses. It's got other, you know, it's pretty vigorous. It's got those other pseudobulbs that are growing out of it. It's a, you know, I tend to go for these big, vigorous plants, but it's not huge. It's just vigorous. It's nice. So I'm happy that I have this, and we'll see what these crosses look like, and that's it right there. Okay, moving on just a little bit over here, you know, and I think I realized after I'm coming over here, this is Hawaiian Prominence America, this plant right here, and this is a cross with Hawaiian Prominence America. And after I see this, I do have another Hawaiian Prominence America plant, and it has a capsule on it, but we passed it. So, you know, I got a lot of capsules in here, and I'm going to try to share with you everything that I have, but sometimes I'm going to miss things. So this is not a huge plant, but I have two of them, and so I think it's fine that I can put one capsule on each of these kind of medium-sized plants. Hawaiian Prominence is a favorite that people use in their breeding as well. There's a lot of dark flower color genes in this plant, and that's what I'm hoping to impart to the progeny, to the next generation. You know, we'll see how it goes, but many of the crosses, when people use Hawaiian Prominence, look similar to Hawaiian Prominence because it's got I think a layering of these dark flower color genes inside of the throat of the flower. It's a nice yellow color. It's a beautiful plant, really fragrant, very vigorous. And again, I'm trying to use it. I've used it in the past in my crosses, and I'm using it again here. Just so you know, so my orchid, my nursery, a lot of the plants that are in those baskets there are my seedlings, but I don't have any more capsules on these plants. Okay, so let's move over to the orchid pergola over here and see what we have. So there's a few capsules that are in plants up here, and these are a little bit harder to get to, but we'll see what we can find. So the first thing right here, and these are hard to get to, this is a capsule right there that is on this plant, and it's really hard to get in there and see things, but this is a Cattleya violacea. So this is, and I crossed this onto another species onto this. So right now, and this is a pretty young capsule, so we'll see how it goes. The plant itself, as you can see here, it's from RF Orchid, as you can see from the tag right there. Plant itself is doing really well. This thing has been blooming for me a lot, and this is the first pollination that I've tried, and I got a successful capsule formation. So we'll just see how this goes. Yeah, so moving on a little bit, back down here, there is yet another Encyclia tampensis right here that is loaded with capsules that are all from, I guess they're insect pollinated. I didn't make any of these pollinations anyway. Moving over here, just a little bit different. Another Encyclia tampensis right here, but what I wanted to show you is that there's some more, you know, this thing blooms in June, but there's some more flower buds that are coming out on this plant right here. So this is a mounted plant. The first tampensis that I showed you was right behind it here, and that's in a pot. So the ones in the pot, again, for me, seem to do a little bit better. The mounted one's okay right here, and it does have capsules on it, but it's also flowering. And so what I tend to do with my tampensis, because I've got so many capsules forming on these, I tend to cut them off. I don't need that many more seeds from my tampensis. Okay, moving up, there's just a few more capsules that I wanted to share with you. And this is another one right here, and this is really hard to see. So about in the middle of the screen, you can see a seed capsule, a small seed capsule, and this is from this plant right next to it that is a Cattleya eclandii. So there's a couple of different capsules, and there's a leaf blocking it, but right there, maybe you can see two capsules formed, and these are also made by crossing with other species. So I cross some other, and this eclandii has bloomed for me. It might have actually been the first bloom for me on this eclandii, and I just wanted to try to generate some primary hybrids that no one has made before. So that's what I'm doing here. So we'll see. Most of these, again, these capsules are pretty young, so but they look good, and I think they'll probably go a little bit further and go all the way. All right, so moving on, just a few more capsules that I want to share with you. So moving down here, on this one, there's another capsule right here, and this is on this plant, which is Fuchs Orange Nugget. And this is actually one of the older capsules. This is probably going to be ready pretty soon right here. It's still pretty green. It might be starting to yellow up a little bit, but I might actually take this one next. So we'll see how this goes. I'm not even sure what I crossed this with, but I'm sure it was. But whenever I make crosses, these are crosses that I really want, and so, but I don't remember. I make so many crosses that I don't remember exactly what I had. I think all that I have now, I think I just have one more capsule that I want to share with you, and it's hard to get to, but it is right up there. So this capsule right here is on, this is a capsule that's forming on Amazing Thailand, and this is a plant that I had awarded. So this is Amazing Thailand, and the cultivar on this, I got to name the cultivar, it's called Finer Flare. So Amazing Thailand, if you know the plant, is a beautiful, large, floofy, colorful, fragrant, flared Cattleya. And I've made crosses from this in the past, and I'm pretty excited about this cross also. So we'll see how this goes. This is not that old. I'm probably going to this probably has to go a little bit longer, but this plant, if you can tell, it just grows beautifully. It grows really, really nicely. And I just like using these good, vigorous plants in my crosses to generate, more seedlings and more vigorous seedlings. Okay, I think that's all that I have here. I just want to show you one thing here. So this is and I've shared this with you pretty recently. So this is a yellow bird, and actually it's just a lone flower on its own here. There were other flowers on this plant. So I made crosses, and those crosses were not successful. So I had, these flowers fell off really, really quickly. So when you make a cross, if they're successful, it's fine, they hang out, but these dropped really fast. And that's just how it goes. That's how it happens. I make a lot of crosses that are failures. I make wide crosses with all these things. I'm excited about them all. But because of the types of crosses that I make, they don't all work. They're crosses that people don't normally make. And I like doing things that people haven't done before. And I like generating these unusual hybrids, which is, I think, what I've been doing. Okay, so that is the end of the capsule tour. I hope that you stayed with me for the whole tour. It's a little bit unusual. We didn't have too many flowers to take a look at, but it's kind of interesting to see. I hope it was interesting for you to see what kind of crosses, what kind of plants I use when I make my hybrids, and what kind of crosses I'm making. Oh, these are going to be so nice. Anyway, can't get sidetracked. Okay, I hope you enjoyed my video today. If you did and you want to keep on seeing them, it would help me out if you can click on like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already a subscriber. All right, that's all I have for you today. Again, I hope you enjoyed it, and happy propagating.